of the Greyhound News. And my anchor, Miss Beeler, is here to efficiently tell you the news. First, your enchanted garden awaits you. Prom is on the brink of happening. Prom will be taking place on May 20th. Make sure to purchase your tickets by May 17th. Guest passes are due to the student store by Wednesday, the 17th, no later. How are you, Miss Beeler?
Well, how are you?
Good.
Healdsburg's own annual FFA fair is rolling around the corner. The Twilight Parade is on Thursday, the 25th. Then the fair will be taking place on May 25th to 28th. We hope to see everybody there to support our FFA members.
Last but not least, election packets are due on May 12th. After ASB validates your candidacy, you can start campaigning. Good luck to all running candidates.
That's all for this week's upcoming events. Now let's head over to our sports recap.
Let's go.
Hey Greyhounds, Coach Kavanaugh here. Just want to give you a spring recap of our sports so far. Boys tennis wrapped up this last week. Eamon Scott and Austin Boaz won their first round of the doubles tournament and then met the number 2 seed and gave them a good fight. Track and field is wrapping up this week with NBLs. Next week we have boys baseball's tournament. Our Greyhounds are the 3 seed. Our girls softball team is doing well. They're 7-11 overall. Looks like they might be making the playoffs as well. Swimming just wrapped up this season. Layla Greaves just wrapped up an NCS berth, and she's competing actually today. So go Layla. And boys golf, Owen Barons dominated, is going to be the MVP this year. Him and Aiden Overdorf will be representing us at NCS. Badminton wrapped up. Diego Rodriguez got MVP of the league. Way to go, Diego. That's it for Greyhounds. Go Hounds.
Hi, everybody. Mr. Linker here. And just wanted to tell you that I am a new reporter for the Hounds, whatever it is in the morning that you guys watch out. What's up, Hounds? Mr. Lincoln from the Dog Pound News. I'm the guest reporter here, and we are going to interview certain teachers and ask them a couple of questions. Perhaps we'll embarrass them. Perhaps we'll bring them to tears. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is exciting. I'm here with
Kelly here. Hi, everybody.
Mr. D. I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Give us the most memorable experience in your high school teaching career.
Well, that's a tough one. 10 years ago, I had a student fake a heart attack on me on the track. And 7 years later, the same student took me to the hospital in a golf cart after I blew out my quad playing volley tennis. Now you have to try to figure out who that student was, a.k.a. could have been a campus supervisor, just so you know.
This is an incredible mystery. The synchronicity is just...
Like that. Plus, this ice cream is really, really good.
Name and occupation.
Thomas Worf, and history teacher.
And Mr. Worf, could you tell us your most memorable high school teaching experience?
I had a hard time coming up with it, but a student once threw up right over there into his backpack, and we had to take the class out and teach and do the class outside, and that was memorable. It was cool because everybody did what they were supposed to do, and it was like a good, productive lesson. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the kid throwing up was pretty memorable.
I remember when that happened.
You remember?
It's talk of the town.
Good. Okay.
Name and occupation.
Ms. Beeler, educator.
Miss Beeler, what is the most memorable thing that you can remember about your high school career?
Can I say 2 things?
Sure.
When students brought their dogs to my class, and I loved it. And when a former student showed up in the parking lot with their travel van and a copy of the book I taught.
And what was the name of that book?
Into the Wild.
Thank you, Ms. Beeler.
And I am here with
Andrew Kempiak,
occupation.
teacher.
And Mr. Kempiak, we were wondering if you could tell us your most memorable experience in your varied and long high school career.
One of my most memorable experiences was here at Hillsborough High School. It would happen during a test. One of my students fell asleep during the test and then had one of those sleep shivers, woke themselves up, and then fell out of their chair during the test. At that point, the whole class knew the student was asleep and literally watched him do this. And for the rest of the year, the entire class would not let that student forget of that moment. That's the one funny memory that keeps popping back up every now and then.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Campion. I'm here with who?
Ms. Calhoun,
And your occupation?
student wrangler.
Oh. Ms. Calhoun, what is the most memorable thing that you can remember in your teaching career?
Several years ago, a student opened up his lunch in my class and proceeded to remove a beer from the lunch that his brother had placed in there. Sadly, before I was able to retrieve the beer, it was gone, as in somebody drank it.
Do you remember the kind of beer?
No, it was wrapped in foil, so I do not know. But I was never able to find the beer after that.
Thank you, Mr. Calhoun.
You're welcome.
I'm here with
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Mr. Kavanaugh. Most memorable experience in your high school career?
Well, as you guys know, I teach strength and conditioning, and one of our units is teaching about energy systems in the body. There you go. One student, Jose Nunez, thought that this did not apply to him, so I told him he could not sprint full speed 2 laps around the track. Well, he attempted this, and after about 3/4 of the way, collapsed and took about an hour to recover. At that point, he goes, "Okay, I guess you were right." So just for future reference, when you take my class, I'm right. See you then.
He's the man. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
sir.
what is this? Has anyone ever seen this before? This is here. This is here. Just want to make a point of that.
Here I am with one of the most, in my opinion, influential teachers. Name and occupation.
Yasha Mokaram, history teacher.
And today, in honors of Teachers Week, we are asking teachers to share one of their most memorable moments in their high school teaching career.
I have so many memorable moments. Every day is a beautiful memory for me. But if I had to pick one, I would say when I was teaching my class about the history of Mexico, and I was trying to get my class to tell me about how September 16th was Mexican Independence Day. And I asked if anybody knew what September 16th was, and one of the students said Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, that.
Is that a true story?
True story.
And that's why we love you.
Who is your favorite teacher and why?
I have multiple favorite teachers. I like both Pollock and Lancaster, but I'll go with Kavanaugh. He's my favorite teacher because he's helped me through a lot and he's encouraged me to become a better student.
Who is your favorite teacher and why?
My favorite teacher is Mr. Parnay. He's always there to help me. He's always in his class waiting for students and stuff. So yeah, definitely Mr. Parnay.
What teacher has impacted your high school experience?
I say Miss Calhoun. Only one that's ever able to get me to do math. It's my dog.
Who is your favorite teacher and why?
Miss Hunt, because she puts up with me every day, and I'm a handful. So.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
My favorite teacher is Mr. Linker because he's always so calm and nice, and he always has all of his stuff together, and he's very organized and a great teacher.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
Mr. Chef from the digital filming class because he's top G. Good chef.
Mr. Demilla Kelly because he's fair to everyone and he's very nice.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
I'd have to say probably Mr. Nutelli because he's funny and most of the time unintentionally funny.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
Mr. Worf because he really tries to make sure that his students understand the material.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
Mr. Benamilis. He's fun. I like his class.
¿Quién es tu favorito maestro y por qué?
Mi profesor favorito es Dr. Pérez porque digamos que en la clase nos deja jugar uno y a pesar de que estamos haciendo un programa en la computadora nos deja escuchar música. Es muy buena onda.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Cam because he's super nice and he really knows how to get along with his students and build a bond.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
My favorite teacher is Miss Ronis because she actually listens to what you gotta say and she'll give you food when you're hungry.
My favorite teacher is probably Calhoun or Mr. Linker.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Linker because his class is fun and he's really nice.
Who's your favorite teacher and why?
It's gotta be Mr. Mokram. He's the GOAT. He's the G. He's the #1 teacher. That's why.